talk to you today about my reflections on growing up as an adolescent in the country. So, you can see the pictures across the bottom, little to a little bit bigger. So, I'm the youngest of 4 children. I loved my life in the country. We had horses. I loved riding motorbikes, driving the tractor. We did all sorts of stuff together. We're a busy, adventurous family. I loved my parents. I loved my siblings. It was just fabulous. Anyway, at the end of my primary school, I went to boarding school because our 2 local schools were an hour away on a bus and not terribly good. My parents were ambitious for us. They wanted to be more than just farmers and that sort of thing. So, and as you can see, I thought it was madly exciting to go to boarding school because my sister and my brothers would come home and they'd talk about all the wonderful things I do, and I thought, isn't it going to be marvellous? Well, so I went just after I turned 12, in first form, which I think we call year 7 now. And it was a bit of a shock because I was a whole lot more homesick than I thought I would be. So, second form, adolescence. Oh my God, who was I? Who was I? It was actually really exciting in a way. It was on one hand sad because I did miss Mum and Dad a lot. But on the other hand, it was quite a lot of fun because you got to do a whole lot of stuff outside the parental gaze. You could make all sorts of decisions by yourself. Some of them weren't so good because I broke my ankle at the end of first form, slipping over in the bathroom, which may have been wet because we'd flooded it because it was really hot. Anyway, that sort of wasn't too much fun. But in terms of making decisions and being good at all sorts of different things, I could work out who I was without necessarily having to fight my parents about it. We just fought the boarding house mistresses. So what happens so there I was at 14 looking, it was pretty cool and suddenly being interested in boys and things like that. And then, of course, comes a time where, oh my God, you're nearly 16. Oh, fabulous. Make your own decisions. So, who was I becoming? I was becoming, I don't know. Well, look, I was tall, obviously. That doesn't help because I grew early and I was much taller than the girls I was at school with. I was definitely much taller than all the boys I did dancing class with. And so I was becoming a little bit I was becoming independent and I was tall and I was bright and I liked playing sport and I wasn't afraid of having an opinion, which is perhaps not as good for being with your peers. And so, but my parents fortunately encouraged my strengths and taught me to be, allowed me to be an interesting person. And so you can see the picture on the right-hand side of the dance in fourth form. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Anyway, so there you go. So who was it? And I suppose the thing about this is that I was becoming confident of who I was, and I certainly wasn't part of the clique. I was never part of the cool kids. And to the point then when I got into sixth form, I was a prefect and house captain. I have our house won the house cup. Yeah, as you do. So the interesting thing though about this is that I was quite confident about who I was. I didn't feel the need to conform to everyone else. And in fact, I enjoyed the fact that I was a little bit different. I'd been at boarding school for 6 years and had a certain amount of experience. So when I first started, there were only 3 of us boarders, so I became very good friends with the day girls. Now, as we got more boarders later on, they, of course, stuck together pretty well, whereas I was actually quite happy to keep friends with all of those other ones. And of course, I wasn't part of that cool girl clique. Now, in terms of sort of thinking about what I became, and that in the middle, you'll notice my P plates there. Now, I had P plates before everyone else because I lived in New South Wales, and we could get our P plates early. So, glance across adolescence, where does it take you to be? identity formation. Who was I? I was quite confident with myself. And because I was confident in myself, I realised by the time I was about 16 I wasn't going to be pretty, so I best be smart. I think I did that well. And because I was so confident in myself, then I didn't feel the need to conform. And because I was never, I didn't, it didn't worry me. I wasn't part of the cool girl clique. But I could make my own choices and take on the rest of my life. It's been a lot of fun.